There comes a time in a man's life that they have the realization they need to make a change. For some, that comes as they transition out of school, or a need to move from their parents' house, a desire to start a family, a new career, and some a change of location. For each in their own time will have their own call to adventure, but society today is enabling children to stay in their childlike state well into their 40s and even beyond. Some never realize their potential to grow, stuck in a life of servitude to their lower nature, and with it their shadow looms over them like a reaper ready to follow them to their grave. Nature doesn't allow for this level of comfort. In nature you either grow or die, evolve and adapt, or be eaten by those who have, inevitably causing millions of organisms over history to go extinct and completely vanish to the purview of the world. The sun continues to rise with or without them. Its uncaring heat emanates across space to feed those who dare to survive in its presence. It's foolish to think we as humans, with our ability to think and make gadgets, are somehow above the laws of such a cosmic power. The size of the creature has no bearing on whether it will survive or perish. Take a simple caterpillar, a worm who throughout life simply eats, inching forward onto its next meal until it inevitably gets an inner knowing it's time for its next stage in its own evolution, in which it goes into a cocoon state, unaware of mechanisms at play that will completely destroy all it has ever known, becoming a marvel in the eyes of those who observe its transcendence. Only by trusting in some divine intelligence guiding it does it become what we call a butterfly. But would the caterpillar know anything as it looks to the sky? Will it know one day it will fly? If it knew that in order to do so it would undergo a symbolic death, to be transformed, would it fear change as humans do? As a caterpillar, threats linger around every corner. The list is seemingly endless for a tiny worm. Yet they brave the wilderness, inching forth toward their destiny. Many of us humans feel safe and protected from the threats they face, only to fall victim to an even greater enemy, our own stagnation. Nowadays we can live comfortably in air-conditioned homes, eating our microwavable meals and fast food that we order off an app to have delivered directly to us. Also, we can have more time on feelingless machines, blocking out the world as we watch an endless stream of information, all in an effort to make sure we don't think about the world, our place in it, or the problems that accompany it. We instead lobotomize ourselves with drugs, alcohol, fantasy games, endless streams of shows, more videos uploaded to the internet in a day than a person can watch in a lifetime. Also, we can live vicariously through these mediums to give us a sense of achievement and adventure. Instead of improving our lives, many of us choose to remain the worm, hiding from life entirely. We must learn from nature and choose on our own terms to defeat our lower self, overcoming the urge to say the same. Or we will find ourselves among those wraiths who die at 30 only to be buried at 70. Instead, we can kill that old self, overcoming our preconceived notions, allowing oneself to transform into something yet unknown. This requires patience, persistence, focus, trust, and a willingness to let go. Releasing that lesser version of yourself is essential for a fulfilling life. At some point while in a cocoon, there is neither the caterpillar nor the butterfly. There is an internal struggle for power that we do not see. At some point, the butterfly must win over its old self to become what is truly meant to be, or succumb to forces beyond its understanding in a failed attempt at transmutation. The caterpillar completely dissolves itself into a liquid state, leaving behind no trace of what or who it once was, unaware that it will never be again, only to reamalgamate itself into something completely different. This dissolution of self mirrors man's internal struggle to dissolve one's previous egos, opening the possibility to integrate new parts of oneself in order that the organism can live more fully. Otherwise, we may be doomed to die in our half-finished worm state. For the butterfly to live, the caterpillar must die. The process of metamorphosis is a brutal destruction of the old self, completely obliterating that which is held so dear in an attempt to make that which could be, but has not yet had expression. Transformation in its truest sense is becoming something else. We must resist the urge to return to the familiar if we are to grow into what we are meant to be. The very thing we cling so tightly to is the exact thing that holds us back. The very thing we are trying to outgrow will tell us we are wrong for changing. We must learn to keep those old thoughts in their place, the past, replacing them with that which we are striving to become. The old self needs to die, a form of soul surgery that can only be undertaken by oneself. The resistance one feels during this period is akin to a child attempting to reason why dessert is a perfect substitute for dinner. The truth being, there are much more rational justifications for why the change, or in the example dinner, must occur, that far outweigh the current mind's understanding and perception. This type of change will only occur when the desire to stay the same is weaker than the desire for growth. In humans, comfort can be plentiful in our modern world, but that comfort will cost a lifetime of hardships, regret, dissatisfaction, inner turmoil, and has led many a great man to his death, both spiritually and physically. Do not be fooled by the colorful packaging. When the ingredients are poison, poison is all it will ever be.